What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Beezy Money episode number 8. We've got a guest tonight that I've wanted to talk to for years. I wanted to talk to this guy since I got into MMA. So going way back with this guy and knowing him for around the MMA area. Now you're at Sanford MMA, probably one of the biggest gyms in the sport. Like from an outside perspective, it seems like one of the biggest and one of the best. You're 7-2 now. What's it like training at Sanford MMA?
Oh, it's great training here, man. I mean, I'm surrounded by legends of the game, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, all my coaches have all had multiple fights. Like Nick Lentz, he was like a 20-fight UFC veteran. I got San Soriano, who's had 20 fights, And then, of course, Greg Jones, Henry Hoof, Kami Barzini. It's kind of like you just never stop learning here, and it never gets old. It never gets repetitive as well. And, like, if you ever feel like it might get repetitive, even though it won't, like, you got Robbie Lawler sitting over there in the corner, and then you got all these other UFC guys are sitting there just ready to share all their knowledge. I've been here for about 3 years now. It'll be 3 years in June, so about 2.5 years, and it's been great. I mean, it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made. Getting out and seeing the world as well, getting down to Fort Lauderdale, and because I grew up in a small town in Eureka, Missouri, where like that's your entire world, right? Like highways and farms, and that was pretty much it. And then I came out here, and I'm like, wow, that's not the entire world. This is the entire world, And so it's definitely a blessing, man. I'm so lucky to be here and be training here. It's hard though. It's very hard. Can never have a bad day.
I bet. It's like what age did you decide that you wanted to leave? I think you were at Springfield at the time. And then what age did you decide like, hey, I gotta go somewhere and get some make a change of scenery? What was it for you? When did you decide that?
So I was at Missouri State, and so I was 22, and my main I love Springfield Fight Club, and I was been able to continue to grow under them as well. But my main thing is I wanted to get out. I'm like, this is the first time I haven't had school. I've had nothing really tying me to a city or tying me to like a state. And so when I was like 22, I was like, man, I wanna get out and move out here. And it was on 2 weeks' notice. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna move. I'm just gonna go here. And my head coach at the time in Springfield, he was roommates with Michael Johnson, who trains out here. And he's like, I was first originally going to plan to go to Colorado because Colorado is also like a mecca of MMA as well.
Factory X or?
Yeah, Factory X. That was going to be the one I was going to go to. And my head coach was like, nah, man. He's like, go train out in Florida, dude. Like, you don't have state income taxes, and it's like beautiful weather year round. So like, go check it out and see if you like it. And so I found a roommate off Craigslist. Straight up Craigslist. I'm glad I didn't wake up in the bathtub with like a kidney stone or something.
Really, you and your roommates, man. You got your roommate stories are crazy.
Oh yeah, no, it was definitely an interesting situation. Yeah, that I don't live with them anymore. I live with a couple of fighters on the team now, and so but yeah, I moved out here 2 weeks notice, and I mean I still come back and visit a couple times a year, but I mean this is my home for the time being.
Yeah, you could have went and stayed in Missouri. I think probably the best gym in Missouri would be Glory MMA in Kansas City. You could have went there, but like why is right now in your life right now you're like 25, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for right now, why is this the best place for you? Because it's an amazing gym, amazing atmosphere, I'm sure. But right now, why?
I just got all of these training partners. I mean, I believe that you can get better at multiple gyms, but like Sanford, I know I love it out here. I mean, it just fits me right now. I'm surrounded by people. Like it took me a couple years to not a couple years. It took me a little bit to like make this my family, like my team, my family. And so now it's like I have this huge support system, and I feel like definitely right now it's what I needed for my career is to have a support system so strong and so like willing to work with me through the ups and downs, work with me to get better, be there for my fights, and yeah, I'm definitely glad to be out here. Eventually down the line, I will end up moving back to Missouri. Just that's where my family's at. That's where I'm from, and I want my future kids to be with my parents, and home is where the heart is as well. But for right now, while I don't have kids, I'm still a single bachelor that can live in Florida if he wants to, and so that's why it works for me right now.
Yeah, shit, I would love to live in Florida, man. But let's talk about the topic at hand, Garrett. You've got a huge fight coming up May 6th
Yes.
FAC 13 co-main event, 135 with Stephen Graham. What's your impression of this guy, Stephen Graham? He's a brawler. Like, he likes to bring it, pretty well-rounded fighter from around this area. And what's your impression of Stephen Graham, your
I think
opponent?
he's a great fighter. He's a talented. He has my respect. He's fought some tough opponents. He's shown that he can go 3 rounds. He's shown that he can strike. He's shown that he can wrestle and do jiu-jitsu as well. But at the end of the day, I mean, there's nobody that puts combos better than I can. I think he's going to have a hard time dealing with my punches. I'm not like a lot of his opponents that he's faced. A lot of guys he's faced, they just kind of wing left hooks and right hooks. They don't have straight punches like me. They don't throw punches right down the pipe. They don't move like me. They don't have head movement. And so I think my matchup and my style is a great matchup for me. I know that he's going to want to go for takedowns. And again, man, I got the best wrestlers out here, and I'm going to be 100% prepared for whatever he has to throw at me. I mean, I face tough competition. I face tougher competition that he has. I fought Ronnie Lawrence, who's in the UFC now, and now he's one of my main training partners. And I know that if I can keep up with these guys and win some rounds against them, I know that I'm going to have a great fight against Stephen Graham.
That co-main event spot, like, it's for a title as well. It's 5 rounds. How many rounds do you see that going for you? You see it going all 5, or kind of in your mind right now? I know it's a couple months away, but I mean, what do you kind of envision happening in that fight?
I envision the first round to set my pace. I'm not going to sit there and try to explode and try to take him out in the first. I mean, if the opportunity presents itself, I will take that opportunity. But at the same time, I want to be able to set my pace because it's 5 rounds. And Stephen Graham's a tough guy. He can take a punch. And so I'm not going to sit here and throw all my marbles into say I'm going to knock him out in the first. If it's there, I'll take it. But I'll be prepared to go 5 rounds. And so, the first one, I'm going to set my pace. And then second one, I'm going to start opening up. And then from there, the fight's going to go wherever I dictate it. Standing on the ground doesn't matter. I got the wrestling. I got the top pressure. I can handle anything he throws at me. I'm more than prepared for this fight.
Well said. And it's in Kansas City. Like, you're a Missouri guy. You're coming back to Missouri. You fought on KCFA before with guys like Alan Olivas, really tough guys, David Onama. How excited are you to come back to Kansas City for this, like, rebranded version of KCFA, FAC 13th now, or 13?
I'm so excited, man. Yeah. I'm so excited to be able to be a part of this and be able to fight for their title. They're a great promotion. I mean, if you saw their last fight, they had 5,000 fans in attendance. They had Dana White in the stands or on the side table. And so I'm so lucky to be able to have this opportunity. Shout out to my management, Jason House of the Iridium Sports, to setting this up. It's going to be cool. And, it's on Fight Pass, so that's a great exposure opportunity. It's in an arena. It has the lights. It has, it kind of puts you in a big show feel. And it is a bigger show, but it puts you in a bigger show feel compared to, like, before you get to the UFC. And so, like, whenever you get to the UFC, you're not blinded by the lights and, like, the crowd. And so I think it's a great step for my career, and it's going to be a great opportunity for me. It's going to be cool. I mean, they run a tight show as well. I remember even when it was KCFA, I mean, the card ran on time. When they said 7 o'clock, the fight starts, at 7 o'clock, that first bell rang. The weigh-ins went smooth. Everything always goes smooth. James Krause and Joe Wooster and all of them, they definitely do a great job running that promotion. So I'm excited to be a part of it, man. It's going to be great.
How many times have you fought on UFC Fight Pass, not including UFC 13?
I had 2 CFFC fights.
Yeah.
And then I fought on LFA, but LFA, that was when LFA was on Access TV or AXS and had not been on Fight Pass yet. So this will be my 3rd UFC Fight Pass show.
Okay. Would you say this is, like, the biggest opportunity you've had? Because, like, I know of you not from, like, Fight Pass. That's where I've watched you before, is Fight Pass. But right now, like, 7-2, golden opportunity. Is this the biggest one yet so far for your career, you think?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely the biggest opportunity for me right now, man. It's for a Fight Pass title, a regional title. And if you've noticed, every single FAC champion, at least all their featherweights, have gone straight to the UFC. I mean, they signed 2 guys off of their last show. And so I'd love to be the 3rd guy, or not the 3rd guy, but I'd love to be the next addition to that, the next FSC champion to go to the UFC. And again, I also have my teammate, Evan Elder. I'm sure you know Evan. He's fighting on the main event. And so it's going to be awesome, too, having my homie right there. It's going to be great. It's a huge opportunity.
That was my next question. You took it. I was gonna say Evan Elder is your teammate down there. He's a really good prospect, 7-0. They just announced it today. He's gonna be fighting Cody Pfister in the main event. What's it gonna? Are you excited? You just kind of said it, but to share that like travel journey, this like experience with Evan Elder.
Yeah, of course. Evan, if you've met him, he is the nicest guy I've ever met.
Nice.
I've never heard that dude say a bad thing about anybody. And not only that, he brings that energy that, I mean, Evan has that energy where he can take on anybody in the world. And so it radiates off of him. And so having that next to you is as soon as you're getting ready, it's going to be great. You know, if it's positives all around.
Have you ever traveled with him before? Like Shamrock is the only one I could imagine. Like, have you guys done this before together?
We actually have. We fought one card together on the same card. And then his fight was right before mine. And like he went out and knocked the dude out in the first round. And then I was like, heck yeah. And then I went there and submitted the dude in the first round. So it was great. And then he was with me with my last fight. He helped me with the weigh-ins and stuff. And again, man, he's just a great guy. You know, he's hyped and he brings good energy, and it made the entire weight cut easier and more smooth. And, you know, it's a great dude all around, man. I'm excited to share this opportunity with him because he's got a title fight as well. And he's going to go out there and he's going to kill it. He's a hard worker. He's one of the hardest workers in the room. So we're both going to go out there and perform.
I believe it. And you had like Miranda Maverick your last fight in your corner, Springfield native. Who's going to be in your corner for this fight on May 6th?
So my head coach from Springfield is
Nathan?
Gabe Woke.
Okay.
He's going to be there as well. And then I have not decided on my second corner yet. We still got like 2 months, but right now I'm looking at Sean Soriano. He's my mentor down here. I mean, he coaches me every single round. And so he's a great dude, man. He's helped me through a lot as well. And he's a master of the game. So I'd love to have him in my corner. We still got to figure some things out because we got a fight board like right over here, and there's like 20 fights that we have happening in April and May. And so, you know, if not, there's Nick Lentz as well, who's been coaching me a lot too, and I'd love to have him in my corner. And so again, we'll just see. I got to coordinate with Evan as well because he's going to be coming with both of us. So whatever works best for both of us, we'll see what's up.
And that's back-to-back fights, so that would be like back-to-back corners. And
yeah, exactly. But it'll be good.
You'll see on that show, like James Krause will just go to the corner and then back to the locker room, but then he's in the next fight. Like he just corners everybody. I wish he could corner me like for my interviews. Like that'd be lit.
Right.
Give me some pointers.
Yeah.
So you got like so many really good athletes there, so many great fighters. I'm sure prospects and then also veterans, like a good mixture of a little bit of everything. Relationship wise, like who is the closest person that you are? Like who are you closest with at Sanford?
Oh, who I'm the closest with? Well, obviously, it's definitely like dudes that are in my weight class that I train with all the time. I mean, other than my roommates, all my roommates are like welterweights and above.
Who are your roommates?
One is Takashi Sato, who's a UFC welterweight.
Takashi.
And then Dylan O'Sullivan, who's a 3-0 pro, and he fights in Tennessee right now. And then the other is the gym manager, who's Tom Gormley. So they're my boys, man. I've lived with them for over a year now, and like they're just positive energy. It's who you surround yourself with. They're such great dudes. But training partner wise, like we goof around. Like we don't goof around so much. Like we get our stuff done, but like it's a good time. Like Dustin Lampros, he was on Ultimate Fighter. He's a great guy. Ronnie Lawrence, who's one of the funniest dudes I know. Troy Worthen, he's also a great guy. But I'm just close to like those are my homies, and I don't know, they're great people, and like we have a good time training. And I think that's the most important part. If you're always 100% serious, which we are always 100% serious, but like you gotta have like laughter in there as well. You gotta enjoy what you're doing. And if you're not enjoying what you're doing, then you're going to get burnt out. And so it really makes it easy being able to train all day, every day with like your boys by your side.
Yeah, it's a great answer. But I'm going to put the pressure on you. Like if you had to pick one guy, that's your guy.
Oh, one guy? Man, that's hard, man. That is hard. Honestly, like Sean Soriano is my guy.
Okay.
That dude's got my back through thick and thin, dude. I love that dude. Such a good guy.
Yeah, UFC stud, Sean Soriano, really good fighter, pretty good everywhere. I got my hard hitter for you, Garrett. I'm gonna ask my hard hitter now.
All right, let's hear it.
You
Let's
ready?
hear it.
You had this fight with Matteo Vogel,
Uh-huh.
and you're 7-2. Like, you have a fantastic record. You're on the come up, and I think you were 5-1 at the time, I want to say.
Right.
Um, you were piecing him up on the feet. You were really, taking it to him, dominating that fight before he ended up, getting that submission, I think, in the second round. What did you learn from like that fight? And I'm sure you had a roller coaster of emotions, but what did you take out of all that experience? And does it eat at you still, or are you kind of happy that you had that experience in the cage? Like, I dominated, did what I had to do, or does it still like bother you at all, or not really?
So I want to say it bothers me. I don't dwell on a loss,
Yeah,
learning experience. Uh,
of course, yeah.
it was just a fight that what I learned the most was to stay calm. So I went out there and I was doing great. I was defending all his takedowns. He got me down once, but I got right back up, and I was hitting with beautiful combos. And what happened was Sean was actually supposed to corner me for that fight, and um, the plane we were getting ready for the plane ride, excuse me, and they had a suspicious package at the airport, and so I flew out the day before, and so the next day he was supposed to get there, and it was supposed to be weigh-in day, and they canceled all flights, and so um, I had no corner, and so he wasn't able to get down. Like, I mean, like the flights were going to be like $1,000 just to do like a short notice flight, and we just couldn't swing it and make it work. And so he set me up with these two guys, which they're great coaches. They train out of a gym called EEFC in Philadelphia, and I remember like between rounds, like this is really where I noticed who's in your corner really matters.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get comfortable. I had like I tried to finish him in the first, so like I exploded and had all my energy out of me. And instead of trying to sit there and calm down between rounds, it was kind of like my heart rate was still up and I couldn't relax. And I guess like I just had uh, not like I just had like a mini like my heart rate just wouldn't relax. And so when I went down the second round, I felt like fatigued. And so it's crazy to like to think that like whenever we train out here, like for examples, we do 6 5-minute rounds on Thursdays, and I can get through the sixth round, and like I'm obviously a little tired, but like it's no issue. I can still throw my hands, I can still defend, I have no problem. But then you get into a fight, and it's 7 minutes into the fight, and like you're gassed, and you can't even feel your arms. And so what I took from that fight is just mostly staying calm and like controlling what you can control. And I kind of, I guess I lost myself in between rounds, and I was prepared to go out there at the second round. And he ended up getting me in a rear naked choke. But it was a great learning experience, and like these aren't excuses.
Of course not. No.
He's a great fighter, but those things happen. And like another thing as well is getting my rest. I'm a grinder, 100%. I'm one of those people that I like to work all day when I'm not training. Like, so I'll go to work at 10 a.m. and I won't get home until 11 p.m. And because I'm a waiter and so I'm on my feet all the time. And then not only that, but then I'll teach kids class, and then along with I hit every single session. That's like something I take pride in. Is I go to every single session. I try not to take days off, and what I learned is that you need those days off. You need to rest, especially since I work. I can't always trying to push myself to like the max limit, because then you get overtrained and you get exhausted, and then your nervous system, you just like you're pent up and you're not relaxed and not calm. So that's like a really big thing right there. I think I took from that fight, and that's what one of my coaches talked to me before I start this camp, because camp starts it's like full swing like this week. Is that I need to take that rest, because yeah, we know I can do it. I can do all these things, and I can work from sun up to sundown with no problem. But when you got a fight coming up in a week and you're still working 40 hours a week in the hot sun, because the restaurant I was at the time was partly outside as well, it does take a toll on you. And so I definitely noticed that. And that's also like a big learning thing, is like taking my rest. Like, yeah, I like making money and I love being like a grinder, but you got to rest. It's important.
Gotta rest. Like, do you still have the? Sorry.
So you got to take care of your body.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
yeah.
Do you still have the waiting job? Are you gonna still do waiting up to this fight?
Yes, I'm still a waiter. I instead of doing like 40 hours a week, now I'm gonna do like 25 hours a week. I cut back a lot, and so it's only like 3 days. But I love waiting tables. Yeah, it sucks, and like sometimes I'm like, man, I'm 25 waiting tables and stuff, but like at the same time, like it makes great money, man. Like for what you have to do, you can pull some cash just for to sit there and smile at people. Like even
Yeah.
when I'm exhausted, I'll like look at people and just like smile, and they'll be like, oh, they'll give me a decent tip, you know. But yeah, I'm still waiting tables. I wait at a restaurant called El Camino, and it's in Delray, Florida. And it's a cool little spot. I mean, the managers are all awesome. Like, if I need to take my food break, they're cool with it. Like, because they know how my diet has to be. And, like, if I need time off, they have no problem giving me time off. Before, like, at my old job, it was, like, a pain in the butt just to, like, sit there and eat my chicken and rice. That takes, like, 2 minutes to eat, you know? And so, yeah. I mean, honestly, like, my plan is to continue to wait tables. Even when I'm in the UFC, I mean, for one, it's it's like a mini break from fighting. I get to talk to like regular people, and
Meet people, I'm sure.
I get to meet people from all over, and it's fun. Like it's cool. And like I've got because since I went to school, I got a little bit of student debt I want to pay off as well, and so I mean that's like another thing is like your like financial management. Whenever you get to the big shows and making that money, it's like if you sit there and try to live off of it when you're in your first like 3 fights, it's very hard to do. And so I think it's good to have like a side hustle where you can pay your bills and then just like throw that cash at investments, throw that cash into property, do something with that money, let that money work for you. Because I'd rather be broke right now and like living, paycheck to paycheck than like blowing all my money that I get from fighting and then like at the end of my career not having something to like be like, oh yeah, look at my bank account now.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know what
like
I mean?
not being just a fighter. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
affect
yeah,
your team. But
yes,
that makes
yeah.
a lot of sense. And like, thanks for sharing that Mateo Vogel stuff. Like that was that was probably my toughest question, but I was very interested in that because watching that fight, it was awesome. You had a great performance. But then I did remember John Morgan on the broadcast he did mention the fact that like you didn't have a corner, like something happened, but that's a crazy story too. Just looking back on it, but you did share the cage with a guy named David Onama, who's a current
Okay.
145er in the UFC. I talked to him and I said, David, what's been your toughest fight to date? Kind of your generic question, but he gave a lot of props to you. He said you were the toughest opponent he's ever had, he's ever faced to this date. That was an amateur fight, which is crazy. And he said you'll be in the UFC very soon. You're a tough guy. What are your thoughts on David Onama, and do you have a relationship with him at all?
Yeah, David Allen's a cool dude. I mean, I'll have like I've met him a couple times. Um, he was actually at my last Shamrock fight, which was really cool seeing there because he had fought the night before, and so it was cool like getting that support. And he was there cheering for me, which is really cool. And like we always shoot each other messages like oh hey man, congrats on the fight, good job. Like I'm looking forward to your fight. All of these things. Yeah, he's definitely him and then Ronnie Lawrence are my toughest fights that I've had.
I was gonna ask you that. Do you share the sentiment that was your toughest fight? But him and Ronnie,
Yes. Yes, like, but because I mean, yeah, well, yeah, the David Mama fight that was a tough fight because that dude is so long and like he doesn't stop either. And like I remember I got hit with a couple of knees in that fight too, and I was like, oh, like that was actually why I went pro. I was like, I'm not gonna get kneed in the face for free again, and it's like no, never again. And he was a tough fight, and I'm excited for him to watch him climb up the UFC rankings as well. He just had that beautiful knockout over like 2 weeks ago.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, the dude's a killer. And from what I can tell, from what I've heard from people, is that he's a hard worker as well. And that's this recipe for success: is keep your head down and grind, and you'll eventually make it there. I'm
Yeah,
excited for his future. He took a short notice fight against Mason Jones, who's a great fighter, and to do that on like less than a week's notice. I
4
mean,
days.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, unfortunately, like he dropped the decision, but like that doesn't take anything away from him. He's still he's a freaking gangster, man.
yeah, that's awesome. Like realistically, Garrett, you win your fight on, and this is like way down the line type of stuff. May 6th, co-main event. You win the fight. Are you UFC ready at that point with this win? You go
Yes.
8-2, get the
Yes,
belt.
I am UFC ready with this one. I feel like I've been UFC ready for a couple fights now, just due to like the sheer fact of like the training we have here. Um, Again, I like to take myself. I like to take pride in how hard I work,
I believe
and
it.
I put in the hard work. I've grinded so hard to get to this moment, to get to this point in my career. This is my 10th pro fight, and looking back, it's like, man, I thought I was going to be in the UFC after my 5th fight, right? And it's crazy, like the ups and downs you got to get through. But in all, it made me a tougher person. It made me a tougher fighter. It changed my mentality for this entire sport. I have so much respect for everyone that steps in that cage. And so I know that I'm ready to go in there and fight a UFC fighter. No problem. So that's why I'm excited for this 5-round fight. I wanted to go 5 rounds too, so I can sit there and piece them up all 5 rounds. And then I can be like, look, I can do this for 3 rounds. I can do this for 5 rounds. I can do it in 1 round. I'm ready for the UFC, and I'm excited to show the world, show everybody on UFC Fight Pass, show everybody in Kansas City what I'm made of.
We absolutely can't wait for it in Kansas City. That's coming up just a couple months away, May 6th. And then I just got some like final questions for you, kind of some
Yeah,
randos, but I appreciate you coming on, Garrett. I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time, ask you these questions. So thank you so much. But
of course.
you're
Thank
on
you.
like, of course, man. You're on like a running streak right now. Is that true?
Oh, a running streak?
Yeah, like you've been running every day for.
Oh, no, I love running. That's like definitely one of my hobbies. Is I like to go out and run. It's just so much fun. It's
Yeah,
like
have you been on like a day streak? You posted like you were on a streak of days. Did you break the streak?
oh no, that's a meditating streak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's this app called Headspace that I use, and it tracks how many days in a row. And so, I meditate every single morning for 20 minutes. And so that's like my streak that I have. And so this is the longest streak I've had. Usually I'll make it like a week, and then I'll like miss a day. But this time I was like, no, I'm not gonna miss a day now. And so yeah, I think it's like 46 days in a row or something now. And
Of,
so
of meditation.
yeah, meditation.
Do you think that's like improved something? I've never meditated before, so I don't know what that's about.
Bro,
Like,
you gotta try it. It's great. It's like you'll start like after you're like you meditate, like you're like living like in the moment and not like thinking. And so like you'll walk outside and you'll be like, oh man, like those leaves look super green today. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. But how do you
And
like turn your brain off for like 20 minutes or something? Like, how do you do it?
it's definitely really hard to be honest, especially like when you first start doing it.
I
But
bet.
it has this like it's like this little like guide that like guides you through the entire thing, and then like 10 minutes in, and it stops talking, and like you just focus on your breath the entire time, and then like you'll notice whenever like you'll start thinking about something, and it's crazy. Like the harder you try, the more like thoughts will pop up into your head as well, and yeah, I just like doing it. It makes you a happier person. It makes training like you get to like get in the zone and training way easier and start getting in your flow.
I believe it. I'd
Yeah.
like to try it sometime, maybe, but
Oh, I highly recommend, dude.
we'll see.
Even
Oh yeah, keep going. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
even like you just gotta like even like I started off when I first started doing it, I just did like 10 minutes a day, and yeah, like a lot of times people say they can't make the time. I mean, my biggest thing was that like I'll look on like the time on my phone, like my screen time, and I'm like, man, if I'm spending that much time on my phone a day, I can definitely put my phone down for 20 minutes and just like sit in silence.
Yeah, you don't want to know my screen time on my phone. I'll tell you
Well,
that.
I'm sure it's a lot. I'm sure it has a lot to do with your job as well.
It's it's crazy. It's like there's only 24 hours in a day, but it's like
Yeah.
it was like it was like 17 hours a day.
Oh, bro, that's crazy. mine was like, mine
It's
was like,
fun.
mine was like 6 hours, and I was like, what? There's no way I waste 6 hours of my day on my phone. And then like I like most of it's like spent like looking at hot chicks on Instagram, and I'm like, crap, man. Like that's like a big thing. Like you are what like you like consume. Like it's who you become. And so that's
Yeah,
why I got put time limits on my apps now, so I don't stay too much on my phone. So it's definitely hard.
smart man. I think you're doing all the right things. So I trust that process too, and maybe I'll try meditating sometime. But I thought you were on a running streak. So my next question was, what's your VO2 max? Do you know that?
I don't know my VO2 Max. I have no clue. I have no absolute clue. I love running though. I'll still like run like once or twice a week. But yeah.
You'll go to the PI and they'll get you once you're in the UFC or you corner someone. We'll get your VO2 max and then you got to tell me what it is.
I'll let you know.
Okay,
I
thank
don't
you.
know what. Have you gotten your VO2 max measured yet?
48, but not in a UFC PI setting. It's just with a running watch. So
Okay, yeah. Okay, so
yeah,
it can tell through your watch.
yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm a 48. I think it's pretty good for my age range. So
Yeah.
you're probably higher though. We'll see. Maybe not.
Do you want a higher number? Because I know with like your resting heart rate, you want a lower number.
You want it to be high. You want it to be like high.
I wonder what like David Onama's is. That dude probably's got like a I don't know
Where
what
he got
100
like a 60 or something. Yeah, just like
something like that. Yeah.
top tier athlete. If you're like a top tier athlete, I think you have like a really high one. It's like your
Mm-hmm.
threshold or some shit. But
Maybe I should get it tested then. That'd be cool.
you should, and then you gotta let me know. But
100%.
we got a big fight this weekend. I got 2 fights I want to ask you about now. Colby Covington, Jorge Masvidal. You're obviously in Florida. They're pretty big in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think wins that fight and why?
I think Colby Covington does. Just his cardio, man, and like
Oh yeah,
he puts on a pressure and like he just throws so many combos and like if you watch like his fights, he doesn't try to muscle any of his punches. He just lets them flow, and then he can like take the fight wherever he wants to take it. Again, Masvidal though, he's got like those tricks up his sleeve, and he's a tough dude. So I think Masvidal can take it at a blink of an eye.
good.
But Colby's got that second lung or whatever he said. I'm like, shit, bro.
What
We
does
all
that
got
mean?
second lungs. We all got second lungs. But
What does that mean?
yeah, I think he walks away with the win. It's gonna be a very exciting fight. It's
And then
either what's the other one?
my other one was one of your teammates. It was announced, I think, a couple days ago. Gilbert Burns, one of the best welterweights on the planet, is fighting the new guy on the block. Kind of, I wouldn't even say hype train because I mean, I don't know if you would or not, but Hamzat Chimaev is a pretty damn good fighter himself. He's coming up, making a big step from his last fight to Gilbert Burns. What do you think about that fight? How do you see it playing out for the teammate Garrett or Gilbert?
Oh, Gilbert takes that
Garrett.
fight 100%. Makachev, Chimev, is that how you say his name?
Yeah, you said Makachev, I think.
Sorry, I'm thinking of the dude that
Last week, yeah.
Yeah. Because they're similar fighters, but Kachev, how you say his name? I don't know. I don't speak Russian, bro. He he surprised me with his last fight, especially like he took out the number 11th ranked fighter, and with ease. But like Gilbert Burns is a different animal. He had never fought somebody like Gilbert, someone that can knock people out with one punch. Someone that, again, Gilbert's like a 2-time world jiu-jitsu champion as well, and the dude can wrestle like nobody's business. So I think Gilbert takes that fight, and Gilbert's got the gas tank. We haven't really seen Chimev, or Kazmat test his gas tank yet. So I think Gilbert's gonna take him to deep waters and punish him.
That's
Plus, Gilbert's like the nicest dude in the world too.
How's your Portuguese, by the way? Are you getting any good at it or no?
I'd say Sim, which is yes.
Sim.
I've been trying to learn Spanish.
Yeah.
I got like Rosetta Stone trying to learn
Nice.
Spanish because like there's a lot of Hispanic people speaking in South Florida, a lot of Hispanic speakers. And it's really like it's not that hard. It's just hard being consistent with it. That's like the main thing.
Yeah, you got like so many blends of people in the gym. You're probably just like want to communicate with them all, but it's like, damn, all I can do is English.
That's like the coolest thing I think out here as well is you hear I hear at least 5 different languages a day. I hear Russian, Portuguese, Spanish, English, and then obviously Dutch because Henry's from the Netherlands, and my roommate's Japanese, so I'll hear Japanese as well. So it's really cool to be able to hear all these different languages. But yeah, try learning Spanish. I'm still trying. I've been trying to learn for like 2 years, and I can say like "Yo necesito dinero," which is I need money. That's pretty much it. Yeah, money.
I feel that. I got you now with my final 3, Garrett. They're just these are going off the rails a little bit. Not really, but today's National Pancake Day. What's your ideal breakfast if you could have like anything at all for breakfast? I know fighters love food, but if you could have like your ideal breakfast, everything, what are you having?
Oh, they had. I used to work at Cracker Barrel in Springfield. I worked there for like 3 years, and I had the Country Boy breakfast. And so it was
Comfortably breakfast.
steak, eggs, hash browns, and then biscuits and gravy. So that right there is my 100% favorite meal. Steak and eggs. Love steak and eggs, especially you're like mix the yolk with the steak. Oof.
Mixing what with the
The
steak?
the steak with the yolk, like after you
Oh
cut
yeah,
open the
yeah.
yolk. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is good. Maybe some hollandaise sauce on top.
Okay. What about you? What about your beverage of choice? Coffee? Are you a coffee guy?
I'm a huge coffee guy. I
That's
love
good.
coffee. Definitely coffee. And then I really like beer wise. I like Negro Modelo. That's a really good beer. And
Is that
then
the black Modelo?
yeah,
Something?
yeah, it's like a darker Modelo. It's like smooth, super good.
Okay, I've never tried that.
And then yeah, coffee. Other than that, I just drink like water, pretty much.
Okay.
I don't know. My BCAs, those are good.
Oh, BCAs. I don't know what that
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought you were talking about like your BCA, like some VO2 Max type of stuff, but I don't know what the
Uh,
BCA is.
I have no clue. That's too scientific for me, man.
What kind of music do you like? What's your vibe with the
Oh,
music?
country music.
Really?
Yeah. I listen to country music, and then I like to listen to like 21 Pilots, just like kind of like modern rock, and then like obviously like early 2000s, 90s rock, just like rock and country music. Rap's cool too. I like it to work out, but I don't know. I'm a little country boy at heart, so definitely
Yeah. If you
country
want to
music.
feel, if you like, you want to just feel something, you listen to some country.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
shed a tear. It's good. It's good.
Mhm.
It's good to cry, man.
Yeah, it is. What do you walk out to? What do you walk out to?
Oh, my last fight was Brand Name by Mac Miller. I
I
love
like
Mac.
that song. It's a good song.
Yeah, yeah. I like to walk out to Mac Miller, and then when I was an amateur, it was always Me, Myself, and I by G-Eazy. But I think I'm gonna switch it up this time. I think I'm gonna go for like a more like I really like Can't Stop by Red Hot Chili Peppers. So kind of not. I don't want to do that song, but I want to do something like around like the modern rock kind of stuff. Um, yeah,
Some
I still
Disturbed or
got
something.
No, no, not too heavy. Not too heavy. I don't want to try to go out there and freak out and try to kill the dude in 20 seconds. Like,
Yeah, Disturbed is too much. Might be too much.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. Because then you just look angry.
yeah,
You know.
people will give you some looks for sure if you come out to Disturbed, but it is what it is. We'll see. We'll save it as a surprise. But my final question for you, Garrett, is if you had to make the choice, if every time you get into your car you have to fight a chicken, or one time a year you can fight an orangutan but you get a sword. You have to pick either or. I think I got it from I stole that one from someone,
Oh shit. Okay. Um.
and I can repeat it if you need. But
No, I like with this chicken. Are we talking like a rooster?
no, just like your run of the mill chicken, just
Run of the
like
mill chicken. Um. Do I get to eat this chicken?
that's a good question. Um,
Because
Probably.
that damn supply chain, man. The grocery prices are shooting up. So if I get to eat that chicken every single day, I got food. I got unlimited food. I'm going with the chicken.
That's a good choice. That's honestly the right choice. It's the right choice to make because I was thinking too. I looked into it deeper, and if you're having to fight the orangutan, does the sword spawn, or do you have to carry it with you everywhere you go? And
Because
just
it's random. You don't know when the orangutan's gonna pop up.
you don't know. And then the chicken, you may be like, I don't really feel like fighting a chicken right now. I'm gonna go take a walk and just ride my bike or something. So I feel like
Yeah.
there's good health benefits too.
Maybe if I did that, I would get my running streak up.
That's true. Yeah. What are you at right now? 0, 1?
Oh, I'm at 0 right now. I didn't run today. I'm sorry. I'm
That's
sorry,
okay.
world. I didn't run today.
That's okay.
Yeah. Well, plus, I drive a single cab Ford Ranger, and so I feel like it'd be really easy to kill that chicken in there. Like, I want to fly around.
Yeah, eventually you would get really good at killing a chicken that you could just do it in one fatal blow. Like the first couple times it might be a struggle, but then the ninth or 10th time, you're probably destroying that chicken really quickly.
Is this chicken evolving every time though?
No, I don't think so. That would just be too much. That would be too much.
Now we're thinking too far into it.
I know, but it is these are valid questions. I feel like when that question comes up, but I love that question. So.
No, I like that. I would probably go. I'm going chicken.
That's the correct answer. Well, Garrett, I really appreciate the time, man. Thanks for joining episode 8 of Beezy Money. Is there any final words before we go that you want to say?
Yeah, man. Shout out to my sponsors, my coaches, my family out there. Thank you, Josh, for having me. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you guys giving me, this opportunity to talk to you guys, get to know a little bit more about me. I'm excited to put on a show for you guys, and then you'll just see me up there on the big screen. So,
Yes, sir.
until then.
Until then, man, like May 6th,
May 6th,
FAC 13, co-main event, Garrett Armfield versus Stephen Graham. We can't wait, and I'll talk to you before the fight sometime, but thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week with another guest.